Well, I'm James Lewis.
And I'm Tosi.
You're watching Breaking News.
What we're doing here, we are bringing all the sport content that you, the people, have brought to us from all across the internet and social media.
All right, so let's get straight into it. The Warriors in the West right now, I think you brought it to my attention.
Mm-hmm.
They look very vulnerable. They look very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
What is your take on that right now?
I feel like the Warriors are very vulnerable right now. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on between Steph, Draymond, and KD, everything that happened up until now started to go south when, first of all, when Steph Curry got injured. When Steph Curry got injured, that took them out their rhythm.
The team kind of deployed at that. I mean, you had Draymond going off at Kevin Durant, and
yeah, and that was my second thing. I feel like that argument right there, and it wasn't your normal everyday argument. It was an argument to where KD and Draymond really called KD out and told him that we don't really need you here anyway. So I mean, if you want to leave, go ahead, because you did that to Westbrook and OKC. So who's to say you want to do it to us?
That brings to my attention. I didn't mean to cut you off. That brings to my attention of, okay, we got DeMarcus Cousins coming in starting. Now, coming off the bench was starting. Do you think he's going to be the number one center with the Warriors?
Yeah, I think regardless of what happens during this season, I really do feel like he's going to stay the number one center on that team. Because, I mean, if you look at who they have, I mean, Looney. No, they're not. I mean, Looney is not starting over DeMarcus Cousins. You would take a 50% health-wise DeMarcus Cousins over Looney, to me, in my personal opinion. And I believe in a whole lot of other people's eyes, too.
A Boogie coming back. DeMarcus Cousins.
Yep, the 18th.
See how this goes. Will the Warriors be better or will the Warriors be worse off? Where does Boogie fit in with this team right now? I mean, you got all these three-point shooters. You got Durant. You got Curry. You got Clay. Now, Boogie Cousins, a center for the Golden State Warriors, along with all those names I just named.
The 5 All-Stars
2019. This is going to be wild.
5 All-Stars.
I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to click.
Yep. 5 All-Stars in the lineup. That's really all really need to be said. You have 5 All-Stars and 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
2 MVPs in the lineup. With Boogie Cousins, though, the Warriors has never had a player of his style on that team at the center position. If you think about it, their most vulnerable position all these years has been that center position. Outside of when JaVale McGee used to come in and out, and they had Zaza Pachulia back in the day. But he was never a Boogie Cousins. They never really had a center that's an all-star on that team, to play along with these players. So integrating that, making sure everybody get their touches and be happy is the main thing. And that has been a problem for Boogie in the past. He wants the ball. But what I say makes a difference in this one.
You have so many. I didn't mean to cut you off. You got so many on the team that can execute with the ball so well. We all saw what happened between Durant and Draymond when Draymond tried to take the last shot. It didn't end too well. And after the fact, we saw all the buzz, all the social media, all the drama was going on. Now with Boogie, we know Boogie already is a hothead. Will Boogie accept his role of not being the key go-to player in a clutch moment? Do you think he will accept that? Do you think he's going to...
Honestly?
We're going to see that bad side of him, that spark in him, that flare no one likes to see.
Honestly, what I do believe how he's going to act when it comes to his attitude-wise and how he takes on the game, I really do believe he's going to be a lot better. I believe we're not going to see high-headed Boogie against his own teammates in this instance just because of the situation he's in. You got to think about it. He's tore his Achilles. Nobody on the team pretty much wanted him. His own team didn't really want him, which I think is stupid. I think if you go get Boogie Cousins, hurt or not hurt, if he's 50% of what he was, take him. And the Warriors swooped down and gave him that opportunity. So this is an opportunity for Boogie. He's not trying to mess this up. He's taking a very huge pay cut for this 1 year. And I feel like with that being said, he's going to try to work his tail off. So in the offseason, when the offseason comes, he can get paid. Whether it's from the Warriors or another team, And I think he wants to win his ring. And I know he wants to win his ring because that's why he accepted.
He wants that ring.
He wants that ring. So I think he wouldn't be much conflict. Only thing I would be interested to see if conflict-wise, because KD is safe. Reason why I say KD is safe is because either KD leaving or he's staying. If he want to stay, Golden State happily accept him. Curry is already on a contract. He's staying. Klay, Splash Brothers, he's been there for a while. I mean, along with Draymond, they both been there for a while, but it's Klay. I mean, come on now. I believe when it comes down to Draymond and Klay, in my opinion, I feel like Klay is getting chose every day. But I would love to see if it doesn't get heated between Draymond and DeMarcus Cousins eventually. Because of the situation they're in, because Draymond could be out the door for all we know if they decide to keep Boogie in the offseason. Draymond could be out the door. They're both hotheads.
We know the West is always the best NBA teams. Mm-hmm. But right now, like we said, the Warriors is looking very vulnerable. You got teams like the Nuggets dominating right now, which beat the Warriors early on in the season. Teams like OKC, they're thriving right now. Yeah. And I think Paul George, he's came up a lot.
Defensively, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder has stepped it up on another level from last season. I mean, you have Paul George who's averaging over two steals a game right now. Westbrook is locking up as always. That was the really big thing for Westbrook in the past, is that people didn't feel like he gave enough effort on defense that he did on his offensive game. But you could most definitely tell the difference in this season. Plus, with the offensive, you could tell he's finally letting up some. And you got to respect Westbrook for letting Paul George keep his foot on the gas, for this team, because it's doing great things.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I feel like, it's really doing big things for them.
On to the Showtime Lakers, the Lake Show.
Lake Show.
LeBron out right now. The Lakers, they're learning. I feel like they're really, really learning with LeBron gone. Yeah. And I feel like LeBron is also learning too.
Yeah.
LeBron is watching these players in their ups and their downs, of seeing what's going wrong, seeing what's going right.
Yep, and I feel like Kyle Kuzma really stepped up with that 41-point game he had in 3 quarters. People forget it was only 3 quarters. He didn't even play really the 4th quarter. He let the other guys get some minutes, and he literally said that in the post-game conference, post-game show, if you actually go listen to it. But with that, I feel like Kuzma has to be more consistent. He has to be more consistent with that type of play. Now, we're starting to see more and more of it. We already knew when Kuzma came in the league that Kuzma was going to be one of the best players in our league eventually. You could just tell that he just has that about him. But we want him to get that more and more consistently and keep that when LeBron is on the floor.
And when you talk about consistency, another one I see who just needs to remain consistent is Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
Night for night, you never know what you're going to get out of him.
Never.
You can either get 20 points, you get 11 points, you can get 5 points. You never really know. As far as Kuzma, I mean, he's grown a lot better than what the rest is.
Yeah.
When it comes to consistency, you got to think, okay, who can LeBron depend on?
Yeah.
Scoring. I feel like Kuzma right now is one of those players.
He is.
One of them that's also getting overlooked is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yeah,
KCP, he puts the stats up when he's in. Coming off the bench, I'm not sure if they're going to get rid of him in the trade deadline or not. Because you got Anthony Davis, who they're eyeing. You got the Lakers eyeing Anthony Davis. You got the Celtics eyeing Anthony Davis. But
2 historic franchises. Two marquee historic franchises.
And the Lakers.
Yep.
To trade up for him, you got to think, who do you want to trade for him? You got Kuzma, you got Lonzo, you got Brandon Ingram. All 3 good players, all 3 wonderful players, but you don't want to hurt your team by letting one of those potential stars go.
Yeah, I agree, but I disagree to a little bit of extent. I feel like when it comes to Anthony Davis, because he is prime time right now, and Anthony Davis have shown you in this league, he's probably probably top 2, top 3 players in the league right now, most definitely top 5. And with that being said, if you have to give up Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Kuzma for Anthony Davis, because in the offseason, not only are you going to open up more cap room space, you can sign, another max dollar player in the offseason, especially if you can get through this season and at least make the playoffs. I think making the playoffs for the Lakers is a big step, and I think that's the goal that should be reached this season. I mean, typically every season you want to win a championship.
Yes.
That's what you play for. But I think you still got to have something where you say this season was a wash. And making the playoffs, since the Lakers haven't made the playoffs in a while, I think that would be a great goal for them.
They're in a sink or swim position right now. They're sitting in the middle. They got to keep winning. You definitely don't want to keep on losing. They're not in a position to tank right now.
No.
I don't think any NBA team wants to tank. In the West is pretty good right now. The East, I don't know.
Maybe the Phoenix Suns
you got the speculation of teams tanking to get Zion Williamson. And I don't know. Zion, I can't say he's overrated. Zion is that in a bag of chips to me. But people are getting so sold on Zion. You got players like R.J. Barrett. Look at what R.J. Barrett is doing. He's putting up few more points per game than what Zion is. I feel like R.J. Barrett is just more of a pure athlete than what Zion is. And everyone's so sold on Zion of what you see on social media and what he's capable of doing.
I will say, to me, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you wholly that they are two different players, and R.J. Barrett is someone to look forward into this draft. But I do feel like that actually Zion Williamson is actually more of the pure athletic build, and R.J. Barrett is more skillful. I mean, when it comes down to it, because I mean, it's players that's in the league that are skillful, and it's players that are in the league that are very athletic and with God-given talent. I mean, if you take a look at like Zach Randolph isn't the most athletic guy, but he will kill you with his skill, or another one, LaMarcus Aldridge, very skillful.
Coming off 56 points.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say that. He's coming off 56-point night. LaMarcus Aldridge been playing great ball. But just so we can get off topic, but I really do feel like Zion Williamson, if you're in a Phoenix Suns position, somewhere of that caliber, Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, if there was any year that you say, let's tank, I feel like this is the year with R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson and others coming out with this draft class. But those are the two top names to me that are listed that I feel like could go either one or two. It's just who's going to go one or two.
R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson. If you're the New York Knicks, who do you take number one? If you have the number one pick.
If I'm the New York Knicks and I have the number one pick, you got to think about it. You have to look at who will fit better with the team you already have. You can't really predict on who you would get. You got to really put it on who you already have. They have Kristaps Porzingis. I already have Porzingis. Who will fit better with your franchise player as of right now? And I think really from me observing, I really do feel like, and it's not me just not wanting to pick an answer, I really do feel like either one of those picks will be a great pickup for New York. I feel like you wouldn't go wrong, with that. Only thing I will say, only risk that I will say you might have is that if you pick up Zion Williamson, let's say you pick up Zion. If you pick up Zion Williamson and only thing that shows is just his pure athleticism, because R.J. Barrett already has a skill. He's athletic too, don't get me wrong, but R.J. Barrett has a skill along with it. And Zion has some skill, but he doesn't have as much skill as R.J. And with skill, there's a lot more longevity you can have. With pure athleticism, there can be a lot of wear and tear on the body eventually, and you can have a shorter career.
The East, we got the Celtics, number 5. The team everyone spoke of being number 1 or number 2. Who's the other second team was the 76ers. Everybody saw 76ers and Celtics dominating the East, but right now, it's not looking like that. You got Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, players who were compared to the Warriors, starting 5. And right now, they're not looking as tough as everyone saw that they would be. They're not. The playoffs coming, I'm not really sure if they could bump up or raise down. To move down to that 6th spot is a lot of losing. Miami is on a 2-game losing streak right now, as we speak, as we film this video, along with Boston. They're going to have to get it together. Boston's going to have to figure something out to get back that spark. They were the team everyone was talking about, along with the 76ers running the East, and right now it's not looking like they're going to run the East.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. The Boston Celtics, honestly, I want to say they should be ashamed of themselves because that'll just be because anything can happen in the NBA. That's why it's the NBA. But we're saying that we all have expectations that, we all put out and for a team due to his talent and how they play. Now, we all knew integrating Gordon Hayward into the starting lineup or into the team at all would throw him off a little bit. I think we all pretty much knew it because he didn't get to play not even one game when he first got there. He got injured on the very first game in the first quarter. So, with that being said, I feel like that is their main issue.
They're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah,
They're going to have to figure it out.
I feel like integrating Gordon Hayward really slowed down the process and the spark that was going from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I feel like those minutes that he's getting, they were getting, especially when Kyrie was out. When Kyrie was out, they flourished. That gave the young guys on that team
Scary Terry
confidence. And we don't see that anymore. We don't see that confidence that we saw last year, I feel like the confidence that we saw last year is gone until they figure out how to get the rotations to where everybody is happy and to where Gordon Hayward can fit in great. And he's had a couple good games since being back, but we all can tell that he's not himself. I mean, we can tell that.
Let's get into the MVP talk. The MVP race is looking wild right now. It's crazy right now.
It's real tight.
My front runner-up right now, who I see is balling, is James Harden. You got runners-up like Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
But right now, James Harden averaging 34 points a game. Doing what he's doing in double overtime. That's a bad man right now. James Harden is dominating. We got James Harden running up for MVP. You got people like Giannis Antetokounmpo who's dominating right now. Who's some of the players you see?
Me personally, I really do believe that Kawhi Leonard is really playing outstanding basketball right now. If you're looking at what Kawhi Leonard is doing right now, I mean, Kawhi Leonard is averaging 27 points this season. The last season he played, he only played 9 games. He averaged 16, but the full season that he played 70-plus games, which was in the 2016-17 season, he averaged 25.5 points a game. Basically, picking up where he left off. And him integrating into Toronto's Raptors
not
team.
Not playing it so long. I didn't mean to cut you off. He hasn't played in so long.
He hasn't played in a very long
like
time.
that with a different team.
Different team, different head coach.
No chemistry.
And the whole situation of how he got there is just crazy. You would think that would affect you.
He's got Danny Green.
Because it's like him and Danny Green shipped and just left. DeRozan, who's been there for a very long time, shipped and just left. You have a situation to where it was easy for either one of them to really just say, I'm just down. Like, I mean, I've been here for so long. But no. Kawhi Leonard has stepped up his game, and he is playing, and he is picking up where he left off, actually playing better. And
that shows you how talented and pure athleticism he holds.
And he worked hard. Kawhi Leonard worked hard. He was a gym rat. You can see the production. I mean, when he first came in the league, he averaged 7.9 points per game. I mean, and then after that, he averaged 11.9 points a game. I mean, Kawhi Leonard has proven to you that he works hard and he has a legendary work ethic.
Tuning in this week for Break the News.
Thank you.
As always, chime in on our Instagram at Break the News Sport. We're discussing topics that you specifically want to hear. You specifically want to know about theories, rumors, anything sports related. Get to us. We're going to talk about it right here.
And you have been watching Break the News.